Most sellers in Tuolumne County have no idea how much they're going to net until they're already in escrow, and by then, it's too late to renegotiate. Today, I'm going to walk you through every fee a seller pays in this market, line by line, so you know your real number before you ever sign a listing agreement. I'm Melissa Vallelunga, realtor and senior partner at Twain Harte Homes and Land at Real Broker. I grew up in Twain Harte, I live here, and I've been helping sellers in these mountains navigate exactly this conversation for years. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of every cost category, a few surprises that catch most Tuolumne County sellers off guard, and a way to get your own exact number before you decide anything. Let's start with the biggest line item, the one everyone already knows about, the real estate commission. Since August 2024, commission structure in California changed. Buyer's agent compensation is no longer automatically baked into the seller's side. It's negotiated separately, and it varies. What you pay depends on what is negotiated between you and the buyers at the time an offer is presented. I'm not going to give you a blanket percentage here because it genuinely depends on the situation. What I will tell you is that this is the line item worth having a real conversation about before you list, not after. Here's one closing cost that surprises a lot of sellers. California's documentary transfer tax is typically $1.10 per $1,000 of the sale price. In Tuolumne County, it's customarily paid by the seller at closing. That means a $500,000 sale comes with about $550 in transfer tax, while a $750,000 sale is about $825. It's not usually a huge expense, but it's one more item that shows up on your seller net sheet, so it's worth budgeting for ahead of time. Next is escrow. In Tuolumne County, escrow fees are often split 50-50 between buyer and seller. Your half will generally run somewhere between $600 and $1,200, depending on the transaction. It's not the number that moves the needle the most, but it belongs on your net sheet, so it belongs in this conversation. Now here's one that's specific to how we write contracts in Tuolumne County, and it's worth understanding: title insurance. There are two title policies in a transaction: the owner's policy and the lender's policy. In Tuolumne County, the owner's title policy is typically split 50-50 between buyer and seller. The buyer pays the lender's policy on their own. How title costs are allocated varies from county to county and region to region across California, so if you're basing your expectations on something you read online or on what a friend paid when they sold somewhere else, those numbers may not reflect what you'll actually see on your net sheet here. This is exactly the kind of local detail that matters when you're doing your math. The last category is the one I call the wild card because it varies the most: seller concessions and pre-listing costs. This includes repair credits you agree to in negotiations, any work you did to the property before it went on market, new photos, staging, a pre-listing inspection, prorated property taxes owed at close, and potentially a home warranty. Home warranty is negotiated, not automatic. Sometimes it's split between buyer and seller, sometimes the seller doesn't contribute at all. It depends on how the offer is written. These are real numbers that belong in your calculation, and they're impossible to estimate without knowing your specific property, your timeline, and how the negotiation goes. Here's what I want you to take away. Your closing costs as a seller in Tuolumne County are real. They're specific, and they add up faster than most people expect, especially once you factor in commission. The only way to know your actual number is a seller net sheet built for your specific property, your sale price, and your situation. That is exactly what I'll provide for you for free, with no obligation. Call or text me at 209-352-8528 or send me an email, and I'll run the numbers for your property so you know what you're working with before you make any decisions. I'm Melissa Vallelunga with Twain Harte Homes and Land at Real Broker. I'll see you in the next one. Warmly, from the mountains.